This is Anjali, and in this video, we'll be doing lists in Python. So, Python is very powerful since it provides you various ways to store and manage the data. And one of the very simple data structure in Python is list, where you can store data in a series. Like we have done how to store data in variables. For example, if I store a is equal to 8 and I run this, so I get one variable which is having 8 in it. When you just run this thing, I get the value of a over here. So this is one variable. But later on, if I try to change the value, I put, let's say, 34 in this. So the value 8 will be overwritten. And if I show a, it shows 34. I don't have 8 with me. But I want one variable which can hold more than one values. So you can do that with the option called lists in Python. In other languages, we also call it as arrays, but arrays are a bit different in Python, so we call it a list here. And how do you create a list? So just write name of the list, whatever you want to give. Let's say I give a is equal to, in square brackets, you're going to write a few values. So whichever values I write here, those values will form the list. So I've given 5 values in this. When I run this and now I try to print a, it shows me all the numbers which I gave in the list. Now A refers to the whole list, but I can refer to individual elements in the list by giving their position in the list. And the position starts from 0. So the first numbers get stored at position 0. The second one is at position 1, then position 2, position 3 and position 4. If ever you want to find the length of a list, like how many numbers I have in the list, so I write length A and it tells me the length of the list. So this has 5 as the length. If I want to see the last element, so last element is going to be A4, which is 10. If you want to add an element to the list later on, so we have a method called append. So you write a dot append and then you give the number which you want to add. Say I want to add 11 and this would add a. If you want to see it's added or not, so I show a again and you can see 11 comes here at the end over here. So this is how we can add. So simple is creating a list. So I can create it simply by putting the values in the square brackets separated by commas. So that creates a list in Python. And this is how you can refer to individual elements, or you can add an element anytime in the list. Now, what I have to do is I have to assess all the list elements. I want that I should, you know, add 5 to every list element. For that, I need something which should traverse all the list elements one by one. So how can we do that? There are two options for that. One option is I can use a loop, like I can have for I in range. So like in the last video, we have done how loop works. And right now I've seen that my list has 6 numbers in it. So I'm going to have a loop for I in range 6. So that means the loop starts from 0, then I will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5. And what I do here is I write AI is equal to AI plus 5, or I could write AI plus equal to 5. Anyhow, so this loop would work like this. I is 0. So A0 means the first element would be added with 5 and whatever comes that overwrites the value at A0. Then I becomes 1 and then the same thing happens with A1. That is second element 3 is added with 5, you get 8 and the number becomes 8. Then for the position 2, for position 3, for position 4 and for position 5. So after executing the loop, if I print it, you can see the list. So 8 plus 5 is 13, 3 plus 5 is 8, 9 plus 5 is 14 and so on. So this is one way using which I can process individual elements of a list. So we can have a for loop like this. Another way is having a for loop of this sort. I can have for num in A. So for num in A will work for all the numbers in the list. So num will get the first number first, that's 13. Then it will get 8. Then it will get the next number and the next number. Now I want to print. I want to print this num multiplied by 2. So I just want that whatever I get when I multiply the number by 2, that should be printed on the screen. So I print this and you could see 13 into 2 is 26, 8 into 2 is 16, 28, 34, 30, 32. And if I print A, it won't be modified because I did not modify A anywhere. I just printed the values, but I never changed A anywhere. So here I didn't change A. The list is same, but when it printed the values, each of the number is taken one by one from the list, is multiplied by 2, and you get the result here on the screen. So num is 13. 13 into 2 gives 26. Then it becomes 8 automatically. You don't have to write any statement for that. So it automatically picks the next number, which is 8, repeats the loop statement. Then it picks the next number, repeat the statements in the loop, then again, again, and so on. So that's how we work with lists. Okay, so this is how we process individual elements. Then if you want, you can delete any element in the list as well. For that, I just need to write delete A and then the position. So if I write delete A3, so 0, 1, 2, 3, we have 17 at 3. So if I run this and I show A, I won't have 17 anymore in the list. So it's gone. So that's how we can delete any individual element from the list. So these are the very basic operations you can perform on the list. But which kind of question you can get for list is like if I say that you have to take a list of elements and you have to create another list which should have all even numbers in the list. So I have a list of numbers. I have to pick only the even numbers out of that and take them into another list. So how can we do that? How can we do that? Say I have a list which has certain numbers. Those numbers could be anything. So anything and any number of elements could be there. So we have something in it. Let it be this. And what I want is that I should pick only the even numbers out of this. So I take a blank list initially. For a blank list, we just write B is equal to empty square brackets. That means it's blank initially. I have to check for every number. So I write for num in A. For num in A, I have to check if A mod 2 is equal to 0. That means it's even. If it's even, it should be added in the second list. And the second list is named as B. So I'll write B dot append num. That is it. So go back here. So right now, the loop will work for every number in A. It will work for 12. 12 mod 2 is 0. So it will be added to the second list. Then we'll check for 5. It's not even. It won't be added. 89 won't be added. 66 will be added. And so on. At the end, what I want to do is I want to print the second list, which is the list of all even numbers. So when you run this, what happened? Okay, it's not A, the number is in num. It's not an A. So we get the number in the variable num, and I don't have P capital for print, so P. So this is your list which has all even numbers. So P is small, Python is case sensitive, so make sure that you write proper cases. So we get 12, 66, 44, 98, which are even out of the given list. So this is how we can work on lists in Python. So this question I have done for you. Another question which you should do is you should take a list of numbers, say any numbers like this I have taken, and what you have to do is you have to check let's say the numbers which are in a given range, let's say all the numbers which are between 20 to 60. So you have to pick only those numbers which lie between 20 to 60 and put them in the second list. Otherwise, ignore them. So have an initial list and pick only the numbers which lie between 20 to 60 and insert them in the second list. And as you know, you have to post the answer to this question in the comment section below. And in case you get any doubts regarding whatever I've told in this video, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll get back to you. In the next video, we will be discussing the functions and methods which can be performed on list. So we have various predefined methods and functions which we can work with when we are working with lists. So stay tuned for the next video where we'll be discussing that, and do subscribe the channel so that you get the notice when I upload the next video. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.